Hey guys, this is Jason, and I am back reviewing some more Daredevil, this time with Season 3, which is unfortunately gonna be the last season from Netflix that we're reviewing, because 6 years ago, after Season 3 came out, Netflix decided to cancel Daredevil, which I think we can all agree that that was a colossal mistake, because the show was doing so well and people were loving it, and it ended on a cliffhanger. It was a cancellation that really disappointed us, myself included. But thanks to Spider-Man No Way Home and Hawkeye, Daredevil is now a part of the MCU with Daredevil Born Again, which I am very excited for. So after the events of Season 2 of Daredevil and the events of the Defenders series, Matt Murdock is not feeling like himself. He's completely given up on being Matt Murdock and just focusing on Daredevil instead. He's completely given up on being a lawyer trying to help people and just decide to just focus on being Daredevil instead. But when he finds out that Wilson Fisk is back, he is still causing more problems in New York City and hires a killer named Poindexter, played by Wilson Bethel. And both Matt, Foggy, and Karen have to work together to stop Poindexter and put Wilson Fisk behind bars. This season decides to take everything that I loved about the first two seasons and make them better by giving this season more of a deep emotional level for its characters, making this season feel more terrifying and suspenseful. And that's why for me, Season 3 is my favorite season of Daredevil. I love Season 1 and 2, but this season, man, they knocked it out of the park. Like when it focuses on Matt, he's not feeling like himself, he's trying to be more like Daredevil, and he's trying to keep Foggy and Karen out of his life so that they would be safe. And unfortunately, he doesn't have his red and black suit anymore. He's back to his black suit from the first season. But when he finds out that Wilson Fisk is still around, he has to figure out not only to stop him, but to help Foggy and Karen as well. So he's forced to go back and help them. Their lives are on the line because they did some terrible things that kind of made Fisk want to kill them. So Matt is kind of forced to go back and help them. And now that these characters are already fully developed, it makes you care for them and make you concerned about what's gonna happen to them throughout this season. And that continues what I love about this show. It takes the characters and makes them feel like people with real problems that get you to care about what's going on. Now, I've already praised the acting in this whole series, but I gotta mention again, Charlie Cox is phenomenal as Matt Murdock. He is incredible. He makes the character still feel sympathetic and very dark, showing you that Matt is kind of going down a very dark path because he's trying to bury his old identity, Matt Murdock, away so that he doesn't have to worry about his personal life, and you honestly can't help but feel bad for him when he's doing that, and you don't want him to do that. And every time Wilson Fisk comes on screen, he still feels like an intimidating presence when he's around. He still manipulates people to doing what he wants, and Vincent D'Onofrio is still phenomenal as Wilson Fisk. You threatened Vanessa. That is something that I cannot forgive. I am not here to threaten you. I'm here to kill you. But he is not the only villain in this show, because we also have Ben Poindexter, or Dex for short, played by Wilson Bethel, who in the comics is called Bullseye. In case you don't know, Bullseye is the character from the comics that is a complete psychopath that would kill anyone by making a perfect shot, whether it's shooting at something or throwing a knife at something, making that what he's shooting or throwing at a bullseye. And that is exactly what Dex in the show is. He is both a jerk and a complete psycho when he's out killing people, and when he's thinking and using his head. Not only will you hear voices in his head, but you also hear like a sound where it sounds like a swarm of flies are just flying around in his brain. And those voices in his head give him a very negative and crazy feeling. That's how psychotic he is in this show. And when you learn more about his childhood and the problems he went through, you do feel a little bad for him at first, but when you see his more psychotic side wanting to come out, you start to feel terrified of him. And I love Wilson Fisk as the Kingpin in this show, but Dex for me, or as he's called in the comics, Bullseye, he is one of my favorite Marvel villains, up there with the Kingpin, as well as Kilgrave from Jessica Jones and Billy Russo from The Punisher. There are also some twists and turns that happen later on. No spoilers, of course, don't worry. But when you do learn about those twists later on, they definitely give the show more of an emotional pull and kind of make some of the characters look at the world differently, making some of the characters that we love throughout this entire show go down a dark path that we do not want them to go on. Like with Karen, for instance, when she finds out that Fisk is back, not only is she trying to protect herself, but she also says and does things that make her feel like a different person, causing Foggy and Matt to look at her and go, why would you say stuff like that? Which, if you have seen the first 2 seasons of Daredevil, you do get to understand why she would act this way, especially when you get to the Karen episode in this season, where in that episode you get to learn what her life was like before she met Matt and Foggy, and when you learn about her life back then, you start to feel really bad for her, and you don't want to see anything bad happen to her. And that's one of the reasons why I think this is my favorite season of the show. It takes the characters that you not only don't want to die, but you don't want them to become villains themselves. Like with Matt, when he's thinking about Fisk, he's slowly becoming what he hates, or with Karen, when she finds out about Kingpin, she starts to slowly become what she hates. And once again, the action in this series is still phenomenal, where you see everything happening where it still looks brutal and gritty on screen, where you would still get the feeling that someone could die in this fight. And just like in seasons 1 and 2, this season has another long take hallway fight scene, where this whole fight scene lasts for 11 minutes and you don't see any cuts until that whole prison scene ends, when Matt is trying to get out of the prison and learn more about what Fisk is up to. And for me, out of all 3 of the hallway fight scenes throughout this show, this is my favorite because it's the longest and it's the most intense and brutal hallway fight scene in the whole series. And when we get to all the character arcs together in these last 4 episodes of this season, it becomes more of an emotional feeling when you start to see everything go down, making the characters feel like they're vulnerable in a terrible situation, especially in the finale, because when everything comes together for this finale, it is both intense and awesome. Guys, Daredevil Season 3 is my favorite season of Daredevil. It has great characters that make them go down a dark path. It still has some great action sequences that are well shot. It has an emotional punch for the story and the characters. It has great twists and turns, and Kingpin and Bullseye are phenomenal villains. If you have not seen the Daredevil series, I strongly recommend you to do so. Watch all 3 seasons on Disney Plus. They are all fantastic, especially this one, which is why I am going to give Daredevil Season 3 an A+. Whew. Yep, I'm giving this season my perfect grade because there's really nothing in this season I thought was the weakest part. Almost everything in this season is just perfect. And that's all I got for the entire series before Born Again. I hope you have seen all 3 of these seasons, and I hope you enjoyed all 3 of the reviews that I did. Now, I know I haven't reviewed the Ben Affleck Daredevil film on this channel. If you want a request for me to review that film, I will review it and have it be a part of my Daredevil reviews playlist. So guys, Daredevil Born Again is gonna be on Disney Plus in March, which I am very excited for, which I hope it's great. Please be great. Don't let me down. And if you have seen this entire series, what do you think about it? Do you love it? And are you excited for Daredevil Born Again? Please let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing, because it helps my channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you know what other videos I'm posting. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.